Periva Sharanam. Achara Niyamas connected with our food and habits. Part 2. A wholesome food is dependent on two aspects. One is that the ingredient of the food, namely vegetable, grains, etc., should be naturally pure. Secondly, the people who make the food should also be men of purity. But as it is today, we cannot go into analyze the quality of the raw things. We get either from the shops or fields. But we must be careful to study the qualities of the person who prepares the food and the one who serves it to us. If these two people are good and pure, the bad things in the raw materials will be neutralized or nullified to a certain extent. The bad intentions get impressed more on cooked food than on the raw things like rice and vegetables and other grains. Similarly, the good also come from our foods. That is why it is said that we should not get the things sold by black marketers, that is hoarders and smugglers. It is said that we must know about the one who cooks the food and the one who serves it. Generally, the food prepared and served by one's mother or wife will be taken as sattvic food. We take food not only for improving the body but also for the growth and development of our mind. That is why more niyamas are prescribed in the respect of the food we take in. Most of the achara rules are related to the food we take. The most cardinal aspect of the niyamas is that the food should be of such type as to improve the sattva guna in us. What is the sattva guna? Sattva guna or sattvika means that one must be free from anger and other strong emotions and he must have a balanced attitude. He shall not be sluggish and he must be loving to all and must possess good thoughts and must always be active. These are the lakshanas or ideals of sattvika. Restlessness, being a slave to kama or krodha, that is anger, and impulsiveness are the indications for rajas or rajoguna. Being always lazy or indolent and retarded in intellect are the lakshanas of tamasa or tamoguna. Though there are three distinct gunas in general, the rajoguna and tamoguna are the two extremes. In between the two, remaining calm and balanced is the sattva guna or sattvika. There is also one state above the sattvika stage, that is the stage of samadhi. In this stage, one crosses the conscious state of mind, that is manas, and kaya, that is sharira. The person who has reached the state of samadhi will have no consciousness or awareness about his self, that is the ego or nan. He will be engrossed in the meditation about God and will be doing a lot of things for the well-being of the world. He will be more interested in the good of the world. Only such a person who is in the samadhi state is said to be a gunatita and he is said to be in the state of satya. Lord Krishna also speaks in Gita about the condition of satya and says Nistrai Gunyo Baba. He also speaks about the lakshana of the food which will develop sattva guna. Similarly, he also describes the traits of the food that will increase rajoguna and tamoguna. But there is no reference to the type of people who prepare and serve the food. By Shuddha Ahara, it refers only to such foods, that is acharas, which will develop the sattva guna. Even if our own mother or wife cooks the food, They must do the cooking and other connected activities in a fit frame of mind, chanting God's names. And if they do like this, along with the six tastes, that is, Shadrasas, the Namarasa will also mingle and make the food more chaste and pure. Even while taking the food, we must purify it by prokshana or sprinkling water and with ghee as annashuddhi. If we have food in hotels or restaurants, we cannot do parisechanam or pranahuti, which is offering the food to the gods after sprinkling water to purify the food. We cannot hope that the server will do abhikara or annashuddhi in a proper way. There is no place for purity in food which will combine purity in the interior, that is, manas, and exterior, physical, in a club or a hotel. If we care only for the satisfaction of the tongue taste, we need not have any rules for achara. In addition to the purity regarding the persons preparing food, we must also look to the purity in respect of the articles which we use in making or preparing our food. There are restrictions regarding the use of certain vegetables on Shraddha days and days of fasting. Like this, there are also stipulations regarding the use of certain vegetables in certain months. We cannot imagine to have such Patartha Shuddhi and other niyamas in a club or a hotel. These observances we can have in our homes, and also we can include or exclude the various vegetables or condiments. We have various sweets or savories which are all to be specifically made for every festive occasion like Vinayaka Chaturthi, Janmashtami or Deepavali, Navaratri and Ramanavami or Puja for Ambal. For every one of these occasions, we have special eatables that are offered as Nevedyam to the concerned deities. We have to observe fasting or Upavasa on Vaikunta Ekadashi, Shivaratri and Shashti. Thus, we have lesser number of fasting days than the days of festivals. If we observe fasting for long hours as prescribed by the Shastras and then have rich food, it will help to develop the body. Periyava Sharanam.